Okay. Full disclosure before I start this one, we're on the final part of the flashback, not walkthrough or playthrough, but more like a sort of like little tips and tricks and here's some stuff you didn't know kind of playthrough. Full disclosure, I live streamed this on, what day was it? Thursday? No, Friday. Today's Saturday. The stream went so badly purely down to one thing, and you know what I mean. The Flashback is a game that is based around a grid, it's based around strict timing, and it's based around a set of rules that the game has, and every port follows the same rules, even bad ones like the snares or whatnot. Even though it can't do them well, it still follows the same rules. I'm finishing the complete playthrough, so this is level 7 now, and level 7, I'm bringing it back to the start. The thing that spurred this on, the impetus of this whole thing, this whole playthrough, was the fact that last November, Flashback was released on the PS4, and I knew nothing about it until a few weeks ago. Literally didn't even know it was out until it was on sale. And the reason I didn't know about it was because it was released at pretty much the same time. I mean, I don't know if it was the same week, but it was around about the same time as Red Dead 2. So it got completely buried as far as I'm concerned. Which is a shame, because I love Red Dead 2, but Flashback is one of my favourite games of all time. So I thought, well, why don't I play through each level, but each level a different pool? Starting with the Amiga, whereas where it started, and ending with the PS4, which is where we are now, the 25th anniversary edition. And I really, really, really love Flashback. I mean, that's pretty obvious. However, the Flashback 25th anniversary edition is not a port. I think they have taken the PC assets, or maybe the like CDI assets or the 3DO assets, or some set of assets, and rebuilt the game from the ground up. Now, not all of the assets they got. So they've obviously got the sprites, they've obviously got the backgrounds. There's a few little issues with the sprites as far as overlapping goes, and they didn't get the sound effects for some reason. The sound effects didn't make it. So they've re-recorded all the sound effects. The music did, and it's the original, I think it's the Amiga chipset music. So that made it across. And they also added a new soundtrack as well, which is fine. They've added a load of little bits and pieces to it as well, like filters and various emulation bits and pieces. But the game is not a port. And that's the issue. I'm going to start the game and then basically explain what I'm talking about. So, like I said, the game isn't a port. And because it's a rebuild, there are certain things that it doesn't have. I'm going to just take it off screen there, still running in the background, and then put it back on, because that splash screen, for some reason, is stupid loud. So yeah, because it's not a port, it's a rebuild, the timing, it just isn't there. And it's not a thing of HDMI lag, and it's not a thing of wireless controller lag, because I'm playing the others on a Raspberry Pi with a wireless Nintendo Switch controller through an HDMI, exactly the same setup as I've got for the PS4, and the timing's just not there. The other thing that the game had as well originally was various states of aggression for the enemies, particularly the morphs, and certain HP values. So they had an HP value, an aggression value, and they also had a set strict speed. Now, the actions that they did were random. You can manipulate them to a certain extent, but they are random. However, the speed was always constant. And the speed of all the enemies, but the morphs in particular, is too fast in this version. So outrunning the morphs by doing the rolls is damn near impossible, and I don't know whether that's on purpose or not. So, long story short, I streamed this yesterday, and whereas usually it's luck-based, like maybe you'll get some good luck, maybe you'll get some bad luck, in this version, because it is so much more difficult, the luck was not in my favour, and I'm desperately trying to show like, here's a trick here, here's a little thing you can do here, here's a thing you can do here, and the enemies were just brutalizing me. Now, before I started, I did a run, and it was completely fine. I got through it first time, barely got touched. So what I thought I'd do is, rather than throw up a live stream, it's an hour-long live stream of me just dying and dying and dying again, I was like, you know what, I'm just going to re-record it, and then show what I need to show without the random elements. I realise that that's cheating to some extent, but I would rather have a video showing, you know, little bits and pieces, rather than just an hour of me getting brutalized by the enemies, because the timing's out and the controls aren't as tight as they need to be. And it's a shame, but I wouldn't recommend this version to someone that's brand new to Flashback. I would highly recommend the Mega Drive version. Like, get the Mega Drive version, Mega CD version, if you can find it. They are brilliant versions. This version, while widely available and cheap, isn't maybe the place to start. This is, generally speaking, a game for people that have played this game for 25 years. And if maybe that was the idea. Maybe the idea was, we'll just make it brutally difficult. Even on normal difficulty, we'll just make it very, very difficult because it's been out for 25 years. I don't know. So yeah, so what I'm going to do is quickly run through the new options in this version. So, like I do with all the other versions, say, like, here's the controls, here's this and that and the other. There are a few more little additions in this version. So, first things first, you've got this new soundtrack. And if you want to just play the soundtrack, you can. You can just go through the things. There's mostly a sound test in every other version. This is nothing new. The visualizer's quite nice. It reminds me of, like, Windows... What was it? Windows XP? Like that visualizer that was on there. Yeah, I like that. Anyway, so this is the new soundtrack. Say what you want about the soundtrack, say what you want about the sound effects. I don't think they're that bad. They clearly had to re-record the sound effects for some reason. I don't know what that reason was. But the new soundtrack, I don't mind it. You can swap it back to the old one. Let's have a quick look at the controls. They've put them on the triggers. Won't bother using them. You can also use the analog stick. Wouldn't bother. Stick to the D-pad. Every single version of this that I've played, the ports, I've tried to get the controls as close to this one as possible, just to have the experience be the same throughout. The only ones that are different are the SNES, where the inventory was on the select button for some reason, and the PC CD-ROM version, I wanted to use the keyboard just to have it sort of more authentic. But these are the controls. Graphics, right. They've got various options on here. I wouldn't recommend any of them, except the anti-aliasing. Simulated CRT, if you want it to look like a very bad portable TV. Noise and static, if you want it to look like you recorded it on VHS. I want to do neither. I have a nice TV, so let's have it look that. Side panels, because the game's in 4:3 and everyone's got a 16:9 minimum TV now, you can put on side panels if you want. Filter. The filter makes it look a bit... In fact, you know what? I'll show you. The filter makes it look like those old Flash games. This is the intro we just looked at, and this is it with the filter on. It makes everything sort of a bit doughy, a bit squishy, a bit rounded. I just don't like that look. I just don't think it looks... It looks almost like a really bad watercolor. I don't know. There's something about the jaggy edges that are kind of endearing. This is a bit too... Yeah, I'm not feeling that. It looks a bit like Flash cartoons from way back when, or when they were putting arcade games like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and stuff like that on Xbox Live Arcade, and you had that option to smooth them out. I don't like it. And the bloom is awful. I don't know why you wouldn't want the bloom on at all. When you put the bloom on, the game is just you can't watch it. Some of it's just ridiculous. There's this weird bloom, so that when it's bright, it's super bright, and it looks awful. I don't know why you would have it. Look at the way that the light is reflecting off stuff. It's like the vampires in Twilight. Everything's got this sort of weird aura around it. Don't like it. Alright, let's get out of that. Right, so that's where you are for the graphics option. Sounds, so you've got the master volume, music volume, sound effects volume, standard mixed and stuff. Right at the bottom here you have 8-bit mode. Now, this is a misnomer if ever there was one. For a start, when you turn on 8-bit mode, all it does is it swaps the soundtrack back to the old Amiga chipset soundtrack. The problem I've got with that is that Flashback isn't an 8-bit game. The Amiga was 16-bit, Mega Drive 16-bit, SNES 16-bit. You know, you've got the 3DO, the Jaguar technically was a 64-bit machine. It wasn't, it was two 32-bit processors, but the point still stands, it's not an 8-bit machine. I understand that 8-bit now means anything retro, but still, I mean, it's a 25th anniversary Flashback. The least you could do is, you know, not pander to this sort of like weird umbrella term. So I'm not feeling that, but that's what that basically means. Like, you could have just put the words, you know, original soundtrack there, and it would have mean the same thing. And that's basically it. These are the instructions out of the original manual, which I thought was quite nice. Like, those are the original images, like the original hand-drawn images in the manual. That's a nice touch. And the last but not least, you have the street art gallery. In the game, there are these like little flashing stars that you can collect. They're like small collectibles. And what you end up with is a graffiti artist similar to the street artist Space Invader, who makes those mosaics around like London and Paris and whatnot. Some guy has gone around Italy and Spain and done little mosaics of frame-by-frame sprites of Comrade, which is nice, it's cute. To be honest, the game's been out 25 years, and if this is all like the history of the game, or, I mean, you could have put something in. Maybe you could have done a little bit better than that, but whatever, I mean, better than nothing, I guess. Okay, so let's get into the game. I want to find that last option, but I think it might be in the game. Let's go continue. The last option, is it in here? No. Game options. So for some reason this isn't in the menu at the beginning, it's in here. So director's cut is those extra cutscenes. Tutorials just puts on-screen prompts, which is like most games nowadays. Rewind mode, I mean, the game has a rewind mode if you really want that, if you miss a jump, or, you know, you can go back. There are limitations to it. On normal, I think you only get like 5 minutes, and I think on expert you only get so many. I don't know, I've never used it, I don't even know what the button is. The game isn't that hard. Like, it's harder than the standard ports, but it's not that hard. So rewind mode is there if you want it. The most important option by far, t-shirt colour. Are you red Comrade or are you white Comrade? I don't even know why this is in here, because the only option is white shirt Comrade. Anyone who says Comrade is wearing a red shirt is objectively wrong. He doesn't wear a red shirt, he wears a white shirt, and I don't want to hear anything to the contrary. Okay, this game doesn't have passwords. What this game does have is this sort of stage select. Every time you complete a level, you unlock one of the 7 things until all 7 are collected. Because it doesn't have passwords, you literally just pick it and go, and it just takes you where you are. No password. Okay, so level 7. Carrying on from where we left off, level 6, I'm going to employ some of the same, not glitches, but sort of like tricks and techniques and little sort of AI manipulations that you can use to effectively get through the level. I'm going to play through as much as I can and just show you where to employ these techniques. Now, some of these techniques, like I say, are 25, 26 years old. Some of them are 48 hours old, where I've just been hammering away at this level, just trying to, like, all my old techniques, all my old sort of routines, gone in the bin. Some of the techniques I found are not 100% effective, but they're the best I've got so far. You know, some of them, What we're going to be doing, we're going to be manipulating the AI, we're going to be trapping some of the AI, we're going to be avoiding fights, and those fights that we can't avoid, we're going to be separating the morphs. because there's only morphs in this level. We're going to be separating the morphs just like we did in the last level with those last 3 morphs. So let's get started. Now, first things first, this level 7 continues directly on from level 6. Level 6 is still back here. Now, you remember we did this on the Mega Drive, and all of this was still here. We actually came down from a hole in the ceiling, which is up here on the top left-hand side. That's now been gated off. So even though the level continues on, there is a hard cut in the middle where level 7 begins, which is where we've started now. Say you've got like 1 HP left and you hit the end of level 6, beginning of level 7. It's a hard cut, so you get all your energy back. We got the diary back. We got, you know, the we dropped the receiver and that appeared in our inventory. It's technically another level. Okay, let's get started. Right, now the first thing we're going to do is do an auto jump right up here to this platform. Now, there's 2 morphs above us, and we need to separate them, just like we did with the 3 morphs in level 6. Here's what we're going to do. We are going to open our inventory, and we are going to pull out, not the receiver, we're going to pull out the telecontrol. Make sure that that's selected, which seems backwards, but trust me on this one. When we go up the top, we're going to stand at this part of the elevator. Once we get up the top, we're going to hammer on the use button. So we're just going to be teleporting nowhere again and again and again. That does give us technical invulnerability. It's not 100%, but it's, you know, the best we've got. We want the morphs to come to basically where we're standing and try and attack us there. Once they're there, we're going to go down the lift. Alright, let's see if we can do this. So I'm already hammering that button. Both the morphs are there. Right, now we're going down the lift. When we go down the lift, we're going to take a few steps forward. So about there, we're going to stand up. We're going to crouch, roll over, and jump. Now what they've done is they've followed us over. We don't want that. What we want them to do is to stay over there. So let's try that again. I'm going to hammer the use button. Use button, use button. Let's go down. Let's try that again. This is not consistent, but it's the best I've got so far. I'm going to go roll and jump. Oh my goodness, they came again. Okay, let's try one more time. Come on. What I'm trying to do is to get them to not follow me. I need them to try and maybe shoot me, or... There we go. Right, so I've trapped them. Now, what's going to happen is they're now stuck up there. Like I say, it's not consistent, but it's, you know, 3rd time lucky. So now they're stuck in that little area with the 2 exploding mice. We don't need the exploding mice. What it does mean is that now they can't touch us. So we can do whatever we like. We haven't had to fight them. And if you get it first time, you've still got all your HP, which is good. So we're going to leave them there. We're not going to get back down there. That's the last we'll ever see of these 2. Now, for the first 5 enemies, we're going to avoid 3 of them. That's kind of the way this works. For this next section, what we're going to do is we're going to do a long jump right at the end of this platform. Those bombs aren't going to hurt us. Right. This is where my technique differs from any other walkthrough you've ever seen. But this is, I've been doing this for so long. This is one of the techniques that actually stayed, is actually consistent. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to turn our back to the door, open up our inventory, and now we're going to select the receiver. We're going to drop the receiver right here. Now, when I did the live stream, there's a glitch that happened where the receiver, even though I dropped it there by the door, disappeared. And I had to watch the stream back to find out what I did wrong. It just completely disappeared and appeared above where I'm standing now. It just appeared on the platform above for no reason. It's very, very strange. I might just get that clip and put that clip on YouTube rather than the whole thing. Okay, so be aware there are some glitches in this version of the game. So the receiver is right below us now. Okay, I'm going to select the telecontrol and we're going to go up the lift. Doesn't really matter where you stand. So while we're up here, I am going to, that's going to automatically activate that gun. We need to turn that off. Okay, the lift going back down. As soon as I jump over there, that trip switch is going to activate the gun. That gun is completely pointless. It doesn't hurt you at all. Right, here's what we're going to do. Holding the action button, I'm going to tap down and grab onto that. Right. This is where things are going to get super complicated. Here's what we need to do. We need to separate these two morphs. Now, the way to do that is, first of all, I need to trap them up here with where I'm standing. It's actually a lot easier than it sounds, providing that the glitch doesn't mess you up. What we're going to do is we're going to sprint into the next screen on the left-hand side. As soon as we enter that screen on the left-hand side, we are going to like pivot around. So just pull back, and he does that sort of like weird slidey turnaround. We're going to run back into the frame that we're in now, where we're standing. As soon as both of the morphs are on our platform, we're going to hit the teleport up and we're going to go downstairs. And that should trap them upstairs. Here we go. Right, they're now trapped up there. We're downstairs. Beautiful. What we need to do now is separate them, because we can't fight two at the same time. They're way too aggressive in this version. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull out our gun, stand where this spiderwebby thing is, and we're going to wait. As soon as one of them is off the screen and the other one isn't, we're going to roll in there and then roll back. The reason we're doing that is because we want to keep one up the top and take one down the bottom. So let's wait for those to separate. Now roll in, roll out. No, we didn't get him. All right. Come on, lads. No, separate out. Come on, boys. That's it. Right, we're going to roll in, grab that one, roll out. Roll out. Now they're separate. Separate? Separate. Are you sure? Alright. Let's use the ceiling. Again, use the ceiling wherever you can, because these guys love to stay on the ceiling. Right. He's dropped the key. So we're going to pick up that key. Now, even though we have the key and we can move on, we actually do need to touch the switch at the top, so I wouldn't recommend necessarily avoiding that guy. I probably would kill him, even though we already have the key. So we're going to do the same thing again. I'm just going to wait until he's in, then we're going to move back and across. Hopefully he won't get us. Keep moving, just keep moving, just keep moving. Pop, 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 pop. Keep moving, keep moving. Pop, 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 pop. And he's dead. Right. So we've separated, so the first two morphs we avoided, the second two morphs we have effectively separated and then killed. We've got the key. We still need to go up the left-hand side, but first we're going to open up this passage here. So we're going to go up this first one, go up this lift, take a step, and then go up. Now, up here is going to be a door that we can't get through yet. Because it's still locked, we haven't touched the switch, because the switch is back there. It won't let us up there. See? I can jump all day and it just will not pull up. So what we're going to do, we're going to turn around, drop the receiver here. Okay. We're going to go back down. Make sure our telecontrol is selected. Come on. Attaboy. Now, like I say, the first two we have avoided. The second two we have separated and killed. The fifth one up here we are going to actually avoid. In fact, we're going to try and manipulate where we want him to be. It's not 100% effective, but like I say, it's the best we've got. We can turn off that gun, which is utterly pointless. I don't even know why they bothered putting it there. No one's going to fall for that. Right. What we're looking at now is the half of level 6, our last level, where we dropped the receiver. We actually dropped it just underneath where it says quick game on the bottom left hand side. What we're going to do now, we could use that energy generator. Should we use that energy generator? Should I don't really want to die. Yeah, alright, yeah, maybe we'll use it. Okay. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to jump over and use that energy generator. Oh god. The controls just aren't quite there. You've really got to be early on those controls. So you'll recognise this. This is the door we came in, we went down, we dropped the thing, but we couldn't get up there because that lift was already raised. So let's use the energy generator. Even though hopefully we won't have to do it that many times during this run. I don't want to keep dying like I did last time. Alright. Let's go across. Okay, so rather than fight this guy, what we're going to do is we're going to manipulate his AI. Hopefully this works. We're gonna do what we did on the last level with the guy, the morph in the pit. We're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna hang, and then pull ourselves up, and then hang as he comes up. What we're gonna do is we're gonna do that twice, and hopefully we can get him out the pit. All right, let's see if. Make sure we've got this selected. All right. Now, sometimes because these guys are at maximum aggression, he might just open fire and shoot us. Okay. What we're gonna do is pull up and instantly go down. Okay. I'll try that again. Go down. Attaboy. We're gonna go up and across and up and down and up. You wanna go anywhere, mate? There he goes. Off he goes. So we've effectively got him out the pit. That gives us a lot of time to basically press the switch and teleport back over here. The door is now open. He's now stuck there. We don't need to go back. And you can see him glitching. He's now hanging on nothing. There are a few little glitches like that. We're just going to avoid them. Please, 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 please make sure you pick up the receiver. If at any point you're doing this run through and you forget to pick up the receiver, there are some points where you can snooky yourself. And it is a little bit annoying. Okay, so we're just going to jump up. And we're going to do a safety save. Okay, so that's basically the first part, all done and dusted. Here's what we're going to do from here on out. We've done a safety save. We're going to do a hop from here. That hop is going to take us into here. Now, at the top, you can see these these three disintegrators and their like trip pads that this mechanical mouse is running across. You can hop through these. It's not really an issue, even when they're up. But if you hop through the first one, you can throw the receiver and just telecontrol in. So from the save point, you just do a hop, throw, teleport, pick up. And you can do the whole section in like a second and a half. Saves a lot of time if you're doing like a speed run. Alright, here we're going to use the key that was already in our pocket when we started. And this dog. Now this dog poses no threat, usually, on any other version of this game. In fact, let me just pause that so I can turn the sound off. These dogs, or these, morph dogs, pose no threat. Providing that you have your gun drawn and you just drop down and instantly roll to the right, they can't hurt you. So we're going to draw our gun, and we're going to drop down and instantly roll to the right. It makes no difference where you go, they can't hurt you. We're not going to move left, we're not going to move right. I do realise there are mines there. What we're going to do, we're going to pull the lift, or we're going to make the lift go up. We're going to draw our gun, and we're going to crouch and shoot. The mines can't hurt us, and we're going to blow that thing's head off pretty much every time. Let's try it. There you go. I mean, it's really that simple. I've basically dropped, rolled, and not moved. Coincidentally, the little flashy thing down there, those are the collectibles in the 25th anniversary edition. Just in case you were wondering. It only gets you street art. Just ignore it, basically. Okay, from here, we're going to get the receiver. We're going to throw the receiver. I still haven't moved left, still haven't moved right. I'm still basically where I was. We're going to turn to the left. This is important. We're going to get our telecontrol, and we're going to teleport. As soon as I hit the use button and we start teleporting, I'm going to hit the inventory button. The reason I've done that is because we need to find our force field. The force field is important. We need the force field because as soon as we teleport, a morph is going to start shooting at us. So we need the force field. As soon as the morph... Well, there's like a second delay. So we're going to teleport. We're not going to use the force field straight away. We're going to wait for a second. The morph's going to shoot. We're going to block it with the force field. And then we're going to open fire. We'll worry about the morph first. There's loads of other things in this room. Don't worry about that. Let's just get rid of the morph. Oh, okay. He did not shoot, which is really weird. Normally he opens fire, but today, for some reason, he didn't. However, he still is very aggressive, so he still got me anyway. The random nature of this game is insane. Okay, what have we got in this room? Well, we've got a thing dropping bombs that's moving left and right at the top. We've got a little flashing eye. Every time that sees us, it drops a bomb. And then the thing to the left is actually a brain that our the guy in the previous level, Mr. Philip Howard Clark, he had in his diary, and the diary says that this is a brain, and that he intends to kill it, but he was shot before he could do that. We're going to shoot it now. Behind the brain, that's actually not background art, that's a gun, just slightly to the left of the brain. So what we're going to do is we're going to wait for this thing to stop mucking about, put away the gun, roll into the wall apparently, because that's what the controls say. Pick up the receiver, super important. Okay, we've still got the force field out, we're going to need that. Here's what we're going to do. When that shield that's moving left and right is on the left hand side and the exposed brain is on the right hand side, we're going to fire off a shot. If we miss or if it hits the shielding, the gun behind it's going to fire. So we're going to do what we did with the police. We're going to go shoot, force field, shoot, force field. It shouldn't touch us, but in this version, all bets are off. Right, let's have a go. So we're going to go shoot, force field. Here we go. Shoot, force field. Oh. Please. Shoot, force field. I hit it. Alright. And shoot, force field. I hit it again. Good. And shoot, force field. Yay! So I got it in all 3 shots. Only takes 3 shots. Like I say, if you miss or hit the shielding, the gun will fire. So just do it, like hit the brain when it's exposed. Okay. Last section of the game now. Where we are standing right now, this bit here, this is where you need to be. We're going to do a hop, and we're going to hold the action button. Okay? Hop and hold the action button. Here we go. He will grab onto this. If we let go, we drop down here. On the final stretch of the game now. So we're going to come up and across. Now in the next screen, you'll notice it from the first screen. Here we are. There's no effective way of getting across that other than doing a long jump. You have to nail it. And if you're playing the 25th Anniversary Edition, again, I don't know, I can't speak for the Xbox version, the PC version, or the Nintendo Switch version, but this PS4 version, the controls aren't as tight as you'd like, so just, you really got to be on the ball with this jump. It needs to be a long jump, and it needs to be perfect, otherwise you can't do it. Now, if you listen closely, they're pretty angry, but there's not a lot we can do. We're just going to avoid them, because we don't need to worry about them. We're not going back up there. We're going to auto jump back into the bit from level 6. We're going to run over here. We're not going to use the energy generator. We're going to use this energy generator from the door that's now open. This door opens, I think, when you use the, or blow up the brain. I think that opens that door, I'm not sure. Okay, and down to the last section of the game. Right, on this lift, we are going to drop the receiver. We're going to put it right there. And we're going to do a safety save. Now, on all other versions of this game, you can follow one technique and it works every time. However, on the 25th Anniversary Edition, because the aggression and the speed of the morphs is way higher, I'm still trying to figure out a technique. So, for example, say you were doing a no-hit run of this level. This section is going to be hard. Basically, there are going to be 3 morphs on screen at any one time. They drop from the left and the right-hand side from the ceiling. They all have 1 HP, so they're not hard to kill, but because there's 3 of them and they're hyper-aggressive, it becomes really hard. Now, the moment we step into the room and climb up, the door that we're standing in behind now is going to shut, which is why we've dropped the telereceiver on the lift. Should things go wrong and I get juggled, no problem. I'm going to use the telecontrol and go back to the lift and straight up and recharge my health. The locked door really doesn't make any difference. From where we're standing now, we're going to do a hop into a climb. Every climb we do, we're going to pull the gun out straight away. That's a must. We're going to get a shot off on the heart. You have to start left and then go right. So it goes left, right, left, right, left, right, done. Once we've done 3 on the left and 3 on the right, we're going to kill the 3 morphs. The 6 shots in the heart will open the door. The 3 morphs we just get rid of and they won't respawn after the heart is dead. Okay, let's jump in and try this. Okay, instantly messed it up. Jump. jump, duck. Alright, we're going to get rid of them. We're going to go up, pull out the gun, shoot, jump over, climb up, pull out the gun. It's so much faster. Right, put away the gun, jump, gun. Ah! Alright, here we go. Climb up, gun, jump down. We're going to get rid of them again. Gun. What the hell? Gun. Okay, we're going to go up, climb up, gun, shoot, and then this is the last one now. I'm going to get rid of them just for safety's sake. 1, 2. Come on, because he'll shoot you in the back. 3. Gun out. Hop. Climb. Gun up. And shoot. Alright, let's go. To the middle. Gun out. Get down. And that's it. They're all dead. The heart's dead. Unfortunately, we got tagged a few times, which, you know, is going to happen. What we're going to do is we're just going to warp out. Grab the receiver. Go up. And because there's no further energy generators, we're just going to use the one that was there. They don't really care. You're not supposed to be able to use this, but because we've got the teleport, I might as well use it. They did, for some, you know, teleport abuse, put in switches. So because this door here is still shut, we can't get back in. But that trip switch up the top does in fact open the door. So what we're going to do is we're going to come up here. And we're just going to drop it. When I said some of this, there's a little bit of sprite overlap, you can actually see the laser from the trip switch in front, like just the light in front of Conrad's legs. So there is a little bit of sprite overlap that's not, as far as I'm aware, in the original ports. It's only in this new version. Okay, let's do a safety save. Alright. So, from here on out, there are only 3 more morphs. We're only going to kill one of them. We're going to get one of them to kill himself, and we're going to get one of them to kill his buddy. And the remaining third one, he's the one we're going to kill. This can be a bit tricky. This is a brand new technique. This is the one that's 48 hours old. Hopefully it works. We're going to go up this lift, selected the receiver. So the receiver's in our inventory. We're going to go up the lift. That bomb dropper is going to start chasing us. What we're going to do is run to the edge of the platform, the right-hand side, and we're going to put the receiver on the floor. We're not going to throw it. We're going to duck, put the receiver down. Once the receiver is on the floor, we're going to quickly get off that platform to the right. Okay, so we're going to go up, run to the right, stop, put the receiver down, fall off to the right. Here we go. Duck, receiver down, off to the right. Now, why have we done that? Let's just go over this. As soon as we go up on that lift on the bottom right-hand side of the screen, we're going to go up on that lift. Above us, there's a trip switch with a mouse on it. We're not going to pick up the mouse. We don't need it. However, as soon as we go there, a morph is going to basically spawn in behind us where we came up that first lift. He's a nightmare. You don't have enough room to roll about down the bottom effectively and combat him. On any other port of this game, I would say just roll around in that pit down there. It's wide enough. As long as you're here on the lift, as long as you go up and down on the lift here, you're fine because you've got enough room to effectively roll and avoid that morph. On this version of the game, he will murder you because they're so aggressive. So what I've done is I've come up with this well, I say brand new. Maybe other people use it. I don't know. This is a technique that I've come up with literally in the last 48 hours. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to abuse that teleport trick that we did before. We're just going to select the telecontrol. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go up this lift. We're going to run all the way to the left where the mouse is. We're not going to pick up the mouse. We're going to use the teleporter. As soon as we teleport, literally the moment we teleport, we're going to pick up the receiver. That's important. Once we have the receiver in our pocket, we're going to climb down and hang. We're not going to drop down, we're going to hang. Now unfortunately, where it says menu, resume game, game options, all of that area there, that outcrop, is going to cover our sprite. So we can't see Conrad and we can't see the enemy. But as long as we hold onto the edge of that platform, the morph can't get us. We're completely invulnerable. And the bombs won't hurt us either. Too fast and too slow, we will die. It needs to be literally frame perfect. So let's see if I can do this. Right, here we go. I'm going to run across. We're going to morph. We're going to pick that up. And then we're instantly going to start climbing down. And I'm holding the action button. Now that morph is below us. He's going to hiss. He's going to be really angry, but he can't hurt us. Neither will the bombs. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to pull ourselves up, and then we're instantly going to start tapping the use button to teleport basically in the same position. And we're going to keep doing that. Now the morph is hopefully, although you can never guarantee, hopefully going to come up, face us, crouch down. Now as soon as he crouches down, those bombs will hit him. As soon as he gets hit by the bomb, go back to the position we're in right now. Climb down, hold the action button, hang. Alright, here we go. So I'm hammering the button. He's going to crouch down, get hit, and now we're going to climb down and hang. He's going to be mad, he's going to hiss. We're going to wait for him to stop hissing, and we're going to do the same thing again. Just using those invulnerability frames, the animation priority, so on and so forth. Alright, here we go. Right, this is not looking good. Come on. I need you up here. There we go. Oh, I got hit. Again, it's a bit of a gamble, but we'll see. Last one. Right, last one. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to hang. So you can... That one hit, completely random. Again, because it's a little bit random. You can do this 10 times, and 9 times out of that 10, you won't get hit, but that one time, you're going to get hit. So the minute I'm hanging, he dropped the key. The morph dropped the key. If we pick up the key, we're going to get hit by the bombs. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to stand up, and we're going to instantly run to the left. The bomb chaser will... Well, the bomb machine will drop a bomb. It won't hurt us, and it will start chasing us. What we're going to do next is then trap it where that switch in the exploding mouse is. And the way we do that is by running off the screen to the left, it will follow us left. By running back on the screen to the right, it will follow us right. And then what we're going to do is go off the screen left and wait for a second, and you'll see what happens, okay? So I'm going to pull myself up and instantly run to the left. Not going to hurt us. Going to go this way, wait for it to follow us. Going to go that way and wait for 1 second and then come back in. Now it's on the other side of that wall. I don't know why that happens, but now it's trapped. And there's nothing it can do. It can't hurt us. It can't come back. It's now stuck there. Okay. There's a hidden... The reason that lift came down is there's actually a hidden trip switch here. Right. That morph that we picked up the key for... the last key we picked up is here. Right. All that stands between us and finishing the game now, there are 2 more morphs. They're the most aggressive and they've got the most HP in the entire game. But we can separate them. And we can also get one of them to kill the other one. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to step on this lift. We're going to turn around. We're going to drop the receiver here. That's important. We're going to select our telecontrol. And we're going to come down this lift. Doesn't really matter where. Now, this pink-purple globule on the wall, this is our positioning. We're going to pull out our gun, crouch. Okay, first thing we're going to do. On the screen on the right-hand side, there are 2 morphs waiting for us. One of them will shoot. We're going to roll in, instantly fire off a shot, roll back out. Okay? In, fire off a shot, roll out. As soon as we've rolled out, we're going to put away our gun and teleport when both of them are on screen. They should come back upstairs. Alright, now again, no guarantees with this version, but here we go. This is the technique I've got. It's worked for the last 48 hours. Maybe it'll work now. So what we're going to do, roll in, shoot, roll out, teleport. As soon as we've teleported, we're going to pick up the receiver, exactly like we did on the last one. And we're going to hammer that use button. And we should stay in that position. And then hopefully, we can get one morph to shoot the other morph in the back. Consistently. You know what I mean? Like, again, do this 10 times in a row, 9 times it will work, 1 time it won't. But let's see what happens. Alright, here we go. Okay, roll in, shoot, roll out. Gun away, both on screen, teleport. Pick up the teleporter. And you come in. Right, we've got one up, I think. I think we can get the other one up here. Alright. I'm just going to take this elevator up. Put the... Where is it? There it is. Let's go down. Put the receiver on there. Roll into the screen. Both of them are on screen. And teleport. Pick up the receiver again. Is he coming? There they are, both of them. Right, we're hammering the teleport button. That guy's going to shoot that guy. Come on. Shoot him in the back. Yeah. And again. Good boy. Right, now he's dead. He's shot his mate. What we're going to do is we're going to go up the lift, take a step to the left, and come down the lift, and then we're going to have to fight this guy. But we've got way more room now because that door's open. Here we go. Right, I'm going to take a step. Go down. Gun out. Crouch. Anytime, mate. Come on. Oh, I'm just not fast enough. Oh, he leaped. And he still got me. Right, here we go. Oh, and you're going to shoot me. Is that how we're doing this? Is that how you're going to do me? Right, he's now dead. So, like I say, you're going to have to fight one of them, but the odds are in your favour. You haven't got two of them blasting you, and one of them shot the other one. So you didn't even need to shoot that first one. You can get his mate to kill him. Yeah, your odds are far increased when you don't have to worry about two completely pound. I mean, you've got them to fight him in this area, and like this tiny little section all the way up to here. Like, that's not enough room. You're gonna get hammered. Now, fair enough, this room's got a ceiling, but there's no guarantee they're gonna use it. So you just end up getting absolutely hammered. You can't use screen wrap abuse. Like, you can't just wait here, duck and shoot here, because they'll just come up behind you and they'll come up underneath you. So you're really screwed either way. Okay, let's move on to the next screen, and I'll give you the last little tip that I can about this level. Okay, so in this final section of the game, we've got two disintegrators and we've got a switch on the right hand side. So what we're going to do is, well, there are two ways you can tackle this. First way is that you can get your receiver, throw it, and then teleport over there. But because of the sort of way that the disintegrators work, some are more potent than others, you can actually run through the first one and jump through the second one. Providing that you jump in the middle, you're fine. So providing that you jump there, you're alright. Now, the first thing that's going to pop up when you enter this section is an inner voice interrupts your thoughts. Again, on the Mega CD, this is voiced. Trust me, son, put the atomic charge here and flee as soon as it reaches the planet's core. So, you're never told who that is, and on the Mega CD it's this kind of like weird voice that you've not heard before. The reason you haven't heard it before is that that voice, I'm assuming, is Philip Howard Clark. Philip Howard Clark is the guy that was on level 6, the human on this morph planet, that when we shot that door and opened it, the morph literally appeared out of nowhere. It's not like he rolled into the frame. He just sort of appeared in the frame and shot that guy in the chest. We then killed the morph on the underpart, the underground bit. When we went up and met this guy that he had just shot, he gave us the atomic charge. And then later on, we didn't pick up his diary in the next screen because we were busy trapping the AI. But his diary we actually still have. So if I open up the diary, this is the diary here. And it says, the 437th day, they made me do a terrible experiment. I'd rather not talk about the consequences. I was so frightened by the prospects revealed to me. They want to destroy our race. I must do something to warn Earth. Today, I introduce a topic on molecular research into the Titan computer. I only hope that it will attract someone's attention. It obviously did, because the morphs, you know, kidnapped him and brought him to the planet. The Master Brain, that's who commands them. Tomorrow I'll try and find out where it is. Now, the Master Brain is this thing here. Now, we shot that just a moment ago, where the morph was sort of like, should have shot the force field, but didn't. So, yeah, so we've killed the Master Brain, and then we killed the heart. And now it says, by destroying the main brain itself, I will have to reactivate. By destroying it, the main brain will have to reactivate itself. It will open up its communication lines, allowing me to place an atomic charge in the heart of the planet. I've constructed a bomb, blah, 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 blah. And then here it says Philip Howard Clark. Now, on the very last page of that diary, it says, oh, I've stolen a vessel. What we're going to do is we're going to blow up the planet just like he wanted, and then we're going to go to the vessel that he had already commandeered. So let's select the, that's not the button. Let's select the atomic charge, which is here. I'm going to put the atomic charge on there. I don't know why he's got some kind of like ethereal voice that can contact you, you know, after he's died. I'm not quite sure, but I'm not going to question it. Let's get out of here the way that they would like us to. Where's the... Oh, I didn't pick it up, did I? Is it still here? Yes, it is. There's the receiver. We're going to lob the receiver through the thing. Through the disintegrators. There you go. So the atomic charge is on there. What we're going to do is we're going to pull this switch and use the telecontrol. Now, from here on out, there are no more morphs. The last section is essentially the intro of Raiders of the Lost Ark. We're going to be running, not stopping. The only thing that can kill us between here and the ship is these two disintegrators here and the big drop where we started, the one with the save function on there. You have to do a long jump over it. If you mistime that long jump, you're going to die. If you run into these disintegrators, you're going to die. Other than that, there's nothing else. The only morphs, I mean, we've killed everything that needs to be killed. The only morphs still alive are trapped, and they're about to get blown to smithereens, so we don't need to worry about those. So what we're going to do is we're going to press this switch and then instantly teleport. And we're going to run. We're not going to bother picking it up because we don't need it. Now, there is one thing that you need to remember. The bomb dropper is still over there because we still trapped it on that side of the wall. There you go. Down he comes. So we're going to sprint as fast as we can through this last area. Now, if you're not too sure about your long jump ability, you can just quick save here. It's not an issue. I mean, you don't really need to because there's, like I say, no enemies between here and the out. There's literally just one jump. Okay, let's go. Now, the floor is going to start to collapse. You don't need to worry about that as long as you keep running. You just run over the collapsing floor, not an issue. It looks scary, it's really not. Here's the long jump, make sure that you nail that. You really need to nail that. And the ship is all the way here on the right hand side. Now, when I first played this game, I'm going to actually stand right here. When I first played this game, I used to get to this section and die every time because you are on a timer and the planet just explodes. And I could not figure out what I was doing wrong. And it's, again, exactly the same as that door in the last level that you have to shoot for no reason. What they've done is they've actually hidden a lift, an elevator. And I'm standing on it right now. You can barely see the railing because it's hidden in the front of the foreground railing. So I was constantly just getting lost and not realising what I need to do, looking for a key. Again, like that mission in level 2 where you have to put the motherboard in the card. All you have to do is stand on this lift and make it go up. And that's the end of Flashback. So, yeah, I mean, that little bit can be annoying and it does catch people out. You know what I mean? Unless you know what you're doing. But it's just, you know, a game of its time. Alright, very quickly, finishing up the story. Your man Conrad is in a commandeered ship, so it's not his ship. Also, because he was in prison and then fought his way through the prison on Earth and went into a teleporter to this planet, he doesn't know where he is. Now, the sort of limited knowledge of space travel that I've, you know, sort of got you can't set a destination to a place if you don't know where you are. And because he doesn't know where he is, he's going to have to put himself in cryosleep and just point the ship in a direction and go on against autopilot. I don't know. So he's putting himself in a cryo chamber where he's going to go to sleep for a long time until someone picks him up. Alien. But, I mean, who am I kidding? I mean, they've already ripped off Blade Runner, Total Recall, The Running Man. Why not Alien at this point? Just go for it. And that's it. That's Flashback. What's going to happen now is that the game is just going to cycle through the cutscenes and the credits are going to roll. So, I mean, I've said this multiple times at this point. Flashback is, in fact, you know what? I'm just going to skip to the score. Flashback is one of my favourite games of all time. And I've said that multiple times at this point. I love Flashback. And like I say, the excuse to play it again, I don't need an excuse to play it again. But I thought what would be interesting is just play it the entire game all the way through, but on 7 different formats. Because the game was ported more places than Resident Evil, Tetris, Doom, you know what I mean? Like, Flashback's on everything. So, yeah, I mean, that's what I wanted to do. But Flashback didn't end with that screen. There was a sequel to Flashback. It was released on the PC, PlayStation 1, and I think the Sega Saturn, and it was called Fade to Black. And what they did was they went from a 2D platform puzzle game to a 3D over-the-shoulder action stroke puzzle game. But unlike Tomb Raider, that got the controls pretty good for its, first attempt, unlike those guys at Core, Delphine Software just did not get the 3D controls right, and it suffered. Fade to Black is not a good game. I liked it, but I cannot recommend it. It's not a very good game. However, I think it's worth looking at. At some point in the future, I might have a quick look at Fade. I'm not going to play through the entire thing, but I'll have a quick look at Fade to Black. However, to finish off Flashback, there are 3 more things that I want to look at. The first is the sequel to Fade to Black. So, Flashback 3. If you see Fade to Black as Flashback 2, there was a Flashback 3. Flashback 3 is a game called Flashback Legends, and it was exclusively for the Game Boy Advance. Unfortunately, it didn't get made. The Delphine Software basically went into liquidation as it was being made. They couldn't find a buyer for it, and it just died. The prototype is out there. It's incomplete. There are some obvious placeholder sprites, and the AI is really just bare bones. The game itself isn't great. I wouldn't recommend playing it, but it is a very good proof of concept. There are 16 levels, 10 of them are playable. The sound's a bit weird. It's all in French, obviously. So yeah, it's an interesting proof of concept, and I think it's worth looking at what Flashback 3 would have been. And I am going to have to bite the bullet. If I'm looking at everything to do with Flashback, I am going to have to bite the bullet and look at the 2013 HD remake. Not reboot, not port, but it's a remake of the original game. Just for completion's sake. It's not good. But then rather than end on a downer note, I thought, well, why not bring the whole thing around in a big sort of cyclical way right back to the very beginning. So the third and final bit of Flashback that I want to look at is the original playable demo. Now, this playable demo was given to Amiga magazines, and it was right at the beginning of Flashback's creation, right at the beginning of Flashback's release. It was like, oh, here's the new game from the guys that brought you Another World. Like, everyone loved Another World. It was a huge hit on the Amiga, massive hit on the Amiga, and consequently got ported to everything. So it was, sent out. This demo was sent out to magazines at the time, like Amiga Format, CU Amiga, Commodore User, Amiga Power. It's an interesting demo. It's only a part of the first level, but it's very interesting. Alright, but yeah, hopefully these tips and tricks helped someone. I only really started doing sort of like the little tips and tricks from level 3 onwards. Like level 1 and 2. 1 was basically me showing how, the Flashback, the jungle level was a brilliant tutorial, and level 2 is like a game within itself, so I was kind of sort of like narrating that. But level 3 and onwards, that's sort of like my little tips and tricks that I use. But yeah, cool. So let's finish up Flashback by looking at the game that never came out, the game that should have never come out, and then finish it off with the original playable demo. Alright, cool. Peace.